Well, so much for staying dry. This ride came together after my buddy Tom replied to a post I tossed into the local group, asking if anyone wanted to get out. He mentioned a trail he'd heard about, rough, remote, and leading to a backcountry lake not too far from us. Apparently, it's usually pretty wet, but with such a dry summer, he figured this was the perfect time to try it out on the bikes. Tom and I both love slower, technical terrain, so as soon as he brought it up, we knew we were in for a good time. I was on my trusty XR400, and Tom was on his heavily modified XR650. Both bikes perfect for adventure riding and exploring new trails. Tom's XR650 is a serious off-road machine. Tons of ground clearance, beefy suspension, and plenty of torque. It's not a bike you see every day, at least not around here, and Tom definitely knows how to get the most out of it. For those who don't know, I've actually been a pretty big Honda fan ever since my days on a 250L. After messing around on a hydro line for a bit, we finally dropped into the trail. Things started off a little slippery, some mud and wet rocks. My fresh-ish knobbies grabbed surprisingly well, and the DRZ settled in right away. We both cruised along at a chill pace. Once we came across our first real puddle, Tom took a line around it and I followed. The XR got stuck for a moment, but with a little push, climbed its way out. The trail was mostly clear aside from a handful of downed trees scattered along the way. Honestly, there's something really satisfying about popping over logs on a bike, even if I'm definitely not the best at it. Little challenges like that just make the ride more fun. Eventually, we rolled up to another section of water we couldn't get around. I stopped to scope it out, but Tom just went full send and dove right in. Absolute madman. Luckily for both of us, the line he picked wasn't too deep. As we worked our way through that wet section, we eventually found ourselves pushing the bikes along a muddy rut. It was messy, slow, and a bit of a workout, but the aggressive tires were biting in and doing exactly what they were supposed to. Even with the overcast skies, it was a beautiful day to be out in the woods. The fall colors were really popping, and for late October the trail was surprisingly dry. It made for a great little ride. Looking down the hill here, you can see the little river we'd been following and crossing all along this trail. We didn't know it at the time, but it actually flows out of the lake that we were riding towards. Here, I decided to try a different line and stay out of the water for once. I was having such a great time floating around this trail on the DRZ. In a way, this ride reminded me just how fun that bike really is, and that I need to take it out more often. I usually end up on the KLR because of the massive gas tank. It really comes in handy out here. But there's no denying the DRZ is the more playful bike. It handles better, feels lighter, and just feels like a nicer overall package. That being said, if I had to choose between the two, I'd still keep the KLR. There's just something about that bike that always puts a grin on my face, and with all the work I've done to it, it's come a long way from when I first bought it. I really am the #1 Gen 1 KLR fanboy. Once we reached the lake, we took a look around and found a couple of old fishing boats that had been dragged out here, along with plenty of great camping spots. Apparently this place is a pretty popular destination for fishing trips. Honestly, I wouldn't mind coming back someday and pitching a tent here myself. After our look around, we headed out the same way we came in. The ride back was a playful cruise, almost like we were trying to squeeze the last little bit of fun out of the day. We let ourselves get a bit looser on the bikes, taking corners a little faster and splashing through puddles. By then, we were both completely soaked, so the idea of getting home, peeling off those wet layers, and warming up sounded better than anything. Once we got back to the big water crossing, we skirted around the muddy rut, and Tom decided to try a different line across the water. It almost ended with his bike going under. We both had a good laugh about it. Who knew an XR650 could swim that well? The rest of the ride went pretty smoothly, and before long we were back on the access road. What did you guys think of the trail? And do you have any tips for riding through water crossings? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. If you enjoyed the video and you're into dual sport and ADV content, consider subscribing and checking out some of my other videos. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.